Welcome to an all-new LayItOmni. Allow me to lay it on you. Ah, Jesus, boy, oh, what is... man, okay, hold on, let me think of words first. The amount of crazy, ridiculous news that has happened this year, let alone for like the past month, has been absolutely freaking ridiculous. A second huge expose video by the YouTuber by the name of Dogpack just dropped, and god dang. Okay, some of the things that we are learning about what's happening around MrBeast and the close quarters and his friends and his company, everything, it's looking bad. Let me just tell you in case you guys don't know. So over the past 24 hours, several videos, information has dropped all at the same time like a freaking nuclear warhead that's been exposing MrBeast for some heinous things. You can see right here on the left, between the hours of 7 and 13, right? You have one video saying, we have proof that MrBeast severely violated human rights. There's another video here saying protecting P-files, the destruction of MrBeast media by upper echelon. More on that later. But the big chunky wongy, the video that's coming out here is from Dogpack 404. He's the ex-employee that worked with MrBeast and exposed him for, like, you know, making fake videos and illegal lotteries. And, you know, this happened around the same time that his best friend Ava Chris Tyson was getting canceled for basically being in the Discord with minors and doing inappropriate stuff, right? Was looking really bad. You're thinking like, dang, Jimmy, this sucks. This looks bad. How could it get worse? This is how it gets worse. This video titled, I worked for MrBeast, he's a sociopath. It's a 50-minute video here that's kind of broken into, I would say, like 3 parts that I'm going to summarize for you guys right now. But yes, it already has 5 million views in almost less than 12 hours. It's absolutely exploding, and you're about to find out why. The video starts off with a skit. It's not really relevant or that matters, but there's one thing that I kind of wanted to point out when I first saw this video is this part right here.
That's what happened to me.
What we do here is go back.
I was gonna be somebody. I was gonna be this.
Whenever somebody makes a 50-minute video on you and you hear the what we do is go back, and you hear the iDubbbz, when you hear that, someone's coming for your throat. Someone knows things about you. Someone wants to end your career. Somebody wants to end you, bro. Like, that's like the last thing people hear before they die on the internet world. Okay, it's just, you do not want someone to play that song before a video starts, and it has to be about you. Okay, and this is what's happened with MrBeast. So the beginning of this video starts with Dogpack kind of just talking about like the aftermath of the first video, but also letting us know that there is going to be a third video as well. Okay, he kind of introduces and says there's more allegations and claims to be made, and basically he's kind of just been waiting, parking some of his information to see if MrBeast is going to come out and do anything before he comes out to kind of deny some of his allegations. I don't know if MrBeast, Jimmy, is just waiting to see what else he knows, or if MrBeast comes out, claims something is false, and then he actually has evidence that it's real. But a part 3 is coming out, and it's not going to look good.
So I will just tell you, James, what will be in part 3, so you don't have to harass my people. It will be about serious allegations of sexual misconduct in the company and your direct involvement in covering up those crimes. And I'll make sure to give you full credit and plaster your face all over the screen when we talk about that. So yeah, I've gotten dozens of messages from former MrBeast employees of very serious allegations. So I just want to put a call to action at the start of this video that, you know, if you have a story, you can DM me. Just make sure you send proof of employment first, because I get a lot of DMs.
Oh my God. It's like if anybody was ever an enemy to MrBeast, if they've been sitting on information, if they had a bad experience, they're about to come to this guy, and this guy is basically going to have a collage of every single bad thing that has happened surrounding MrBeast and Jimmy. If he's made any enemies, and it looks like he has, well, they're all about to come together like the Avengers to basically end this man and his careers, because that's exactly what's happening right now.
During the 100 Boys versus Girls video, I have people corroborating the same story, that the camera guy who gave the girls a drone was making some girls feel uncomfortable. You know, you trap these girls in a circle and make them sleep on rough turf and get them high on paint fumes, and then you try to f them.
Okay, that...
Whoa. Let's go back to the receipts that we just saw on here. It says, I know in the 100 Boys vs. Girls video that they fed us boys hours after the girls each time, and it really got on our nerves because it became blatantly obvious they wanted the girls to win. I know that the camera guy who gave the girls the drone was being extremely inappropriate with the girls since I started talking to them after the shoot, made them feel very uncomfortable. People were coming out to talk about some creep out here that was trying to take advantage of the fact that there was a bunch of girls all gathered together that were sleep deprived and freaking high on pain fumes. And yeah, not a good look. That seems like something that's going to be happening with a part 3 with more people coming out. On top of that, guys, I have it on good authority with some sources as well that this is not the end of the train of information that's about to come out about MrBeast. Okay, there's been many of my sources in the background who are basically claiming that they're going to come forward to talk to Dogpack or make their own videos as well, or their own public Twitters and their own statements about their experiences with Jimmy. It's not even the bottom of the barrel, which is absolutely terrifying, because as we continue to talk about more about this video, you're going to wish that this was the end. You're going to wish that this was the worst of it, but somehow it still might just be the tip of the iceberg. So the second part of the video leads to this interview with the guy by the name of Jake. He is also an ex-employee of MrBeast. He was behind the scenes, he was in part of the videos, and eventually he became the guy that was going to be in a video where he had to basically be confined in a room for 30 days. And every time he stayed in the room, every day he would win $10,000. I think I vaguely remember this concept. I don't watch a lot of MrBeast videos, but I remember it. What looked like solitary confinement in a fun room seems to have kind of developed to a place where things started rotting. Apparently there was like an ice cream machine that was really cool at first, and then yeah, it went old and stale and it started smelling. Apparently the smell of paint was everywhere. The biggest concern that everyone's talking about is that apparently there were some war crimes that were being created. Essentially, they would leave the light on when he was trying to fall asleep, and apparently according to the Geneva Convention thing, right, not allowing someone to sleep by keeping the lights on is apparently some form of torture, is what is being, you know, basically pushed around. This is all alleged, right? But yeah, not allowing anyone to sleep because you're leaving the lights on apparently is no bueno.
Got to a point where like they weren't turning the lights off. You know, I asked them, I said, can we like have like nighttime hours? You know? And they said no, because it would fuck up the time-lapse shots. The time-lapse of what? Me sleeping? Or me not sleeping? Yeah, I saw in other videos they did like, oh, you're gonna get XYZ hours of sunlight. Oh, great! Want to know how they figured that one out? I didn't have it. You know, one of the things was you got to take away your clock, so you didn't know what time it was. Okay, I got no access to sun. I got no access to clock. I don't know, like, the lights are on me all the time. I wasn't sleeping. I could not sleep, and I have insomnia problems now. But they might have started there.
Yeah, Jake expressing the fact that basically he was kind of used as a lab rat. There were situations essentially while he was inside there as well that apparently MrBeast told him to start running a marathon, like out of nowhere. Like, hey, bro, here's a treadmill. We want you to run a marathon. Just start running. Just do it, because if you don't do it, you're not really getting hit with the video or whatever. MrBeast basically trying to apply psychological torture methods, which, you know, when you think about it up front, you're like, hee hee ha ha, this is funny, right? He's making money and everyone's kind of like playing into this video to make a video kind of thing. But this guy giving his personal antidote of the situation is saying that he's walking out of this thing with blisters on his feet that were absolutely terrible, like that hurt like shit. And also he might be sleep deprived to the point where now he's suffering from insomnia. Like, this psychologically messed him up. This doesn't include some of like all of the other things that he's been saying about the fact that he doesn't like Jimmy. He doesn't like MrBeast. Apparently MrBeast is a mean guy. He had made some joke here. I think his dad came to a set to basically come check him out, and he was like, all right, go back to your jail cell like your dad or something like that. Maybe MrBeast out here being edgy with the dark humor. I don't know, but probably something you shouldn't say to someone who's not one of your closest friends, and you know their family as well. But also talking about the fact again that he like faked videos. There was a video of him in the car where he called his mom preemptively to be like, hey mom, I need you to pretend you don't know this information for this video that's about to happen, kind of thing. Just kind of confirming it. But faked videos at this point, I think we kind of all really knew that a lot of things was probably fabricated just for the sake of creating the video. Like, I think we kind of all knew that, you know, Santa Claus isn't kind of real kind of thing. But finding out that MrBeast fakes his videos in certain kinds of ways is the least of his worries when we find out this next freaking allegation about this dude that apparently has been walking around on set in his videos by the name of Delaware.
Whatever happens at this point.
Outside of it, Chris Tyson, did you really see or hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
I've heard rumors. I can't confirm or deny anything. I don't have any tangible evidence, but I've heard stuff that if it could be investigated, that'd be great. But it's like water cooler talk. But I've heard things, yes, of course. I heard, you know, people have been let go for sexually assaulting some very young people. The idea that Jimmy didn't know, or that Jimmy was covering stuff up, he didn't want stuff to come out. You know, he's very careful about his image. You know, the tangible proof that he knew but covered it up. You know, how do you prove that, you know? Well, there was a known sex offender, registered sex offender, convicted sex offender on the registry and everything who worked there. And like you can, you know, someone pees in public, you're on the registry, you know, you get it. You can still have a job after you're on the, that's one thing. You know, you go to prison, you get rehabilitated, that's one thing. You know, like if you do your time, that's fine. I think there should be rehabilitation in this country. But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people. And they knew that. And he's working at a channel that has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people. And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started.
Oh my God. Oh Lord. Oh boy. Again, I told you guys, this is the huge, like, what the hell moment. All right. Apparently he was an ex-manager and this guy was a convicted rape, and it showed an image. I have the police report. I can actually pull it up for you guys right now. But yeah, it showed at the age of 1 to 11. This is getting from really bad to absolutely heinous and disgusting. Internet Anarchist, one of the commentary channels that talk about all these things. I'm sure he's going to be making a video on this soon, you know. MrBeast allegedly has a sex offender in his company who targeted victim between 1 and 11 years old. Disgusting. And it has a person here with basically their entire information on the public record. It shows an adjudication date here for April 21st, 2010. That was 14 years ago. I think Jimmy would have been a baby at this point, right? So I don't think he even had a YouTube channel. So this is not something where it happened and Jimmy knew about it and was trying to cover. Sounds like something that might have happened where maybe at some point in the future he became aware of that knowledge that this guy did do said thing, and then he kept him in the company anyway. In fact, started appearing in videos. The question is when did MrBeast find this information out? Because this guy was in his videos with a mask on, and there's a clip somewhere around here where MrBeast actually calls this guy by the name of Delaware. And what you need to understand about the joke of the name Delaware is that this is where the actual crime took place. So the fact that Jimmy is out here making jokes about a guy's name whose name is Delaware, and the actual crime was him potentially raping a child, I'm not exactly sure how to wrap my head around that. That's not the point of like dark humor. What exactly is happening in the MrBeast studios? Because right now this all sounds insidious and disgusting. Without any explanation, this all points to what in the goddamn hell. The second thing here is that apparently Ava Chris Tyson knew as well. There was a tweet by Ava that said, "Never ask Jake how he protected his kid or his family from his brother-in-law." Someone said, "Low blow, thought we weren't talking about kids." And then Ava says, "Who you keep in your company describes a lot about you." And that's when Ava posted this whole thing about this guy named Jake Franklin. He was somebody that was involved in the Ava Chris situation, who was also under wraps and knew everything that was going on. What's happening here is the collapse of an empire, right? MrBeast builds something with a whole bunch of people, comes to find out that a lot of the people that are a part of this whole empire are scumbags, or soon to become scumbags. And then the whole house of cards collapses and everyone's dark secrets come out, and it's done. It's over. This is terrible for all parties involved. It seems like everyone connected is cooked in some kind of way. You got Ava Chris Tyson cooked for basically talking to minors, and okay, there's that. You got MrBeast cooked for many reasons, right? Why does he know Delaware? We're going to get more into that as well. Okay, the psychological torture to some guy at the Geneva Convention. Like, brother, what? The fact that he kind of knew about a lot of things that happened with Ava Chris Tyson. Now he's investigating into his own company when it comes to Ava Chris Tyson, but does that include his involvement as well? As more information comes out, people are coming out talking about their terrible experiences with MrBeast, that he's an asshole. There's clips of Jacksepticeye who was like, "Yeah, I don't like MrBeast. I don't like him at all. I think he made YouTube bad and he just, made it about numbers and algorithms and money. And he keeps getting exposed further and further. Again, it's really bad. Let's kind of go over a little bit more about this Delaware person.
You know that he knew, and because he'll be in videos, he'll be in thumbnails, he'll be around, and whenever he is, he's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender? And that your face could be looked up on a thing? How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender with a physical mask? Like, do I have to, is it more on the nose? Or I don't know why they let him go, because there's rumors back and forth, so I don't know why they let him go, but he did leave at one point. Even if that guy didn't do anything, they still knew about it and he was still around. And what if he's one of the people in the Discord servers? What if he's not? I don't know. But when I was there, they called him Delaware. It's like, why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname? Colloquially? Like, yeah, it's Delaware. Don't ask him why, The fuck?
And Jimmy knew about it?
The likelihood that he didn't know is astronomically low.
Okay, so finally I have a recorded phone conversation. The person on the other end of this line is a different former MrBeast employee talking about Delaware. Also, apparently before this phone conversation got recorded, the person on the other end of the line said that the MrBeast team was actually trying to expunge Delaware's record off the registry. And that's what actually sparked this person to start recording.
He was a hustler, dude. To be completely honest with you, he was a hustler. There was extra money he was made that he didn't call back and say for them. You know what I mean? If Jimmy was like, I need a set done, and Delaware was like, would you do it for $1,000? Well, man, just go out there and fucking make a set for 8 hours by yourself. I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. And it was Reed's idea to get involved. And it was like, we need to get you an APL manager, and then we went through that whole cycle of different VPs and managers, and, people that won't talk to us anymore because they're scared of Jimmy. And if you really don't do anything in the affidavits or testimonials from people, you have to move very quickly because one of those people are going to go back.
All right, I gotta pause. Jesus freaking Christ, bro. It's a lot to take in, guys. I know if you're watching this and you're learning about this at the same time, or maybe you already know and you're just like, yeah, I want to see how I'm gonna get hit with this brick. God damn it, man. No, oh my God. I feel like this is one of those situations where so many people were kind of praying on MrBeast's downfall, right? Because he's this nice guy, right? Makes these videos for these people, and then suddenly pull out the curtains and there are so many goddamn skeletons in the closet, right? Everyone has skeletons, right? I would say everyone's got some things that they don't want people to know about, right? But this is not just a freaking skeleton. This is the whole goddamn graveyard. Yo, and these dudes and these ex-employees are grave robbing. They're out here uncovering and letting people know all the skeletons that's been behind Jimmy and MrBeast and the company's backs. And then MrBeast has to reply. God, we really are now in a scenario where now MrBeast has to reply about the fact that he apparently called some guy by the name of Delaware. And the joke around the fact that his name is Delaware is that he can't go to Delaware because he touched a freaking child. Shit. So on top of everything that you've been hearing, right? The internet is trying to figure out what the hell is going to happen next, essentially, right? We've got everything about MrBeast getting exposed. We have a third dog pack video that's coming out. Where is the video that MrBeast making in Amazon? Is that still happening? Have they not canceled it? After all of these allegations are coming out, my man's dropped a video the other day on the official MrBeast channel titled "Survive 100 Days in a Nuclear Bunker, Win $500,000." 122 million views in 4 days, doing absolutely brilliant so far, by the way. There's controversy when it comes to this like-dislike ratio. There's a plugin, there's several of them, right? Where it says, like here, you can see it says 4.3 million likes, 2.1 million dislikes, but then apparently there's like controversy around that this number isn't correct for certain plugins. I don't know the truth or false of it. They were trying to say, like, here's the real numbers, it's not real. I'm not sure, okay? So I can't confirm or deny. This is just a number that we can just use as a reference, but we don't have to say that it's confirmed or denied. It makes sense, though. It would make sense based on everything that's happening for a dislike ratio to happiness, but to say that it's the actual one, I won't confirm it or deny it if people are saying that it could be buggy. And apparently the comment section on here has been absolutely weird because, freaking comments are going up and down and left and right and being deleted and regulated. You know, like normally with all the stuff that's going around him, this would be plagued with being like, yo, are you going to respond or what's up? It would be plagued with that. But instead you see, I miss the old Kanye. I miss the old Kanye. The characters are boring. Chandler, greater than MrBeast, you know? Okay, bring Chandler back. You know, there's Chandler. I'm still waiting for my cookie. Boring. Here we go. MrBeast is evil. Hugo carried so much. Like, you're reading these comments and they literally have nothing to do with the entire drama. So you know that this is being highly, you know, deleted, regulated. Let me see what happens if I sort by new. Nothing. This video was blessed by the algorithm. Bots. Yeah, this joint is heavily regulated. On top of it being censored to basically keep all this bad information out, people have been claiming that MrBeast is going around silently kind of like deleting clips and videos from his actual videos out there and probably deleting things that might have Ava to be in there, maybe parts that have, what's his name, Delaware to be in there. But certain people are being silently edited out and trimmed out of videos, I'm guessing to make it harder for people to find. But my guess is that someone out there somewhere, multiple people on the internet basically have multiple copies of all of Jimmy's videos. And if people want to go out and search it and find it, there are internet archive detectives out there that will find it. Usually trying to bury it is the reason why people would go and look for it even further. This combined with the whole cease and desist that's happening from Dogpack, it makes Jimmy look worse and worse. And quite honestly, I don't know how he walks away from this. Like, if I could be honest with you guys, right? When it comes to the gravity of the things that we've been hearing about MrBeast, right? Illegal lotteries, whatever. Okay. All right, cool. Whatever. Don't really care. You know, and then maybe some situations where the contestants weren't happy because they signed a waiver and they weren't happy with their experience. All right. That's debatable. You know, he say, she say, might be up for debate. Maybe he's a disgruntled ex-employee that wasn't getting paid enough money. Maybe there is room for doubt where this isn't something where Jimmy is an evil dictator type person, right? But once I found out that there is an actual recording of Jimmy literally addressing a guy by the name of Delaware, and that joke was created for the fact that if that allegation is true, okay, and that this guy did do what they're claiming allegedly, and then Jimmy knew what was going on allegedly, and this was insider information, then it makes me believe that MrBeast knew everything. He knew about Ava Chris Tyson. There's probably a lot more that he knows about that maybe they were trying to keep swept up. It ruins the entire image that I want to have in my head that maybe MrBeast to have the benefit of the doubt. And then he's got to respond. But right now it looks absolutely terrible for MrBeast and his team and his crew. Might be the dismantling of a huge empire, and the next couple of weeks are going to be very hyper focused on what this new video is going to be from Dogpack. The more claims that are coming out, again, to my inside information sources too as well, there's going to be more videos coming out on the side and more testimonies from more people. It's a absolute shit show, and I'll keep you guys in the know as it plays out. Eventually, though, MrBeast and them right now is basically focused on Ava Chris Tyson getting canceled off the internet based off their experiences with kids and everything, and they're doing the investigation. Oh, I forgot to show you guys that. There was an internal leaked email here from the JD office from MrBeast saying, "Dear Team Beast, I wanted to update all of you on the recent concerns that have raised online and in the press. As I mentioned in my tweet a couple of weeks ago, we've hired Quinn Emanuel, a top-tier law firm, to do a full investigation of the Ava Tyson allegations. allegations. We also asked him to expand the scope to include a full assessment of our internal culture and to investigate allegations of inappropriate behavior by people in the company. While the process is not complete, I have enough preliminary information at this point that I'm announcing several changes today. As your leader, I take responsibility and I am committed to continue to improve and evolve my leadership style. This is Jimmy, by the way. This is from MrBeast himself. While I've been mostly focused on creating content, launching Feastables, building our community, and leading our philanthropic efforts, I recognize that I also need to create a culture that makes our employees feel safe and allows them to do their best work. Therefore, along with Jeff Hosenbold, our new president and COO, we will be hiring a new chief human resources officer, CFO officer, and general counsel, along with other roles to add capacity and competencies to foster a better internal culture as we continue to grow. So they're hiring a new HR person, a new CFO, and a new general counsel. And then also Jeff is the new president. So it sounds like what might be happening, and I could be wrong, but actually I lied. I was trying to think and figure out what this could mean, because I was like, does this mean that Jimmy's silently going to back off from the project from MrBeast and stuff? But it's him. Jimmy is the product. MrBeast is the product. If you make a MrBeast video in it and MrBeast is not in it, no one is going to care. This is the reason why companies that are designed around one person existing as opposed to like a product or something that's faceless or whatever becomes a problem. Because if that person gets yoinked, then the entire thing gets swept up. It's that pyramid, right? You know how there's a pyramid and maybe Jimmy's at the top and there's a bunch of people at the bottom. You move the top person and you put another person there, you're fine. It's the other way around. Jimmy is at the bottom of the pyramid and then like everybody else is like this, right? And you remove Jimmy, then it's all gone. Anyway, reading the email. Number one, hired a new chief human resource officer. We will bring in a seasoned leader to help us build a more inclusive environment and a world-class HR team. Number two, mandatory training. We are implementing mandatory training sessions on safety, sexual harassment, LGBTQ, diversity-specific training, workplace conduct for all employees, yada, yada, yada. Listening sessions. Jeff will be holding listening sessions across the company to hear directly from employees about their experiences and ideas for improvement. Anonymous reporting. We're establishing an anonymous reporting mechanism to ensure everyone feels safe coming forward with concerns. External review. We have engaged an independent firm to conduct a thorough review of our policies and practices and implement changes. So basically kind of trying to clean things up, but is it too little too late? Especially now what we are uncovering and listening from all of these testimonies, especially from like Dogpack and this whole thing about Delaware. Like, are there more type of situations that involve Ava Chris Tyson and Delaware? Like, I have a feeling it's not the end. Like, that's not it. Those aren't the only two things that we're going to find out. Anyway, Jimmy finishes and he says, I want to let you know I am optimistic about a company's future and I appreciate all your contributions. We are seeing many examples of your hard work as we recently became the first channel to surpass 300 million YouTube subscribers. Our last two main channel videos are fastest growing in the history of the company, and our philanthropic work continues to positively impact our community and our planet. In summary, I am fully committed to seeing the investigative process through and acting on the recommendations. We will circle back and share our learnings and any necessary changes. Thank you for the continued teamwork and dedication to our mission and our community. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or Jeff directly. Jimmy. So guys, that's the MrBeast situation in a nutshell right now. And I'll keep you guys posted with all the updates that are definitely going to be in and coming. Okay. These are the things that are going to be happening over the next couple of weeks. Number one, eventually we're going to hear MrBeast respond. And he's already kind of responded in a way with the whole cease and desist with Dogpack, which is basically bringing more verification to the claims from the first, the second, and then the eventually third video that's going to be dropping, talking more about the situations that have been happening within the offices. Number two, again, like I said, I have multiple sources that have been saying that they're going to be dropping their own videos on the side, and there's going to be more testimonies where people want to come out with their own way. Okay, I can't reveal the sources, but the people who are wanting to come out to talk to me just want to let me know that it's coming out, but they want to kind of like release it, on their own terms, right? It's not up to me for people who feel like are victims to come out and say whenever they need to say it, or they need to say whenever, right? So just expect more down the pipeline. I think that's basically it. What we're actually going through right now is the complete dismantling, the complete breakdown of an empire of the biggest YouTube channel of all time. If you thought 2024 wouldn't get more wild, well, welcome to the end of freaking potentially MrBeast. I don't know how he walks away from this, especially with the fact that there seems to be so much more information that's going to be coming out. What do you even do at this point right now? The claims have to be false. That's it. The claims that they're saying somehow, some way have to be explained in a way where it's a complete lie, it's a completely false, where someone was twisting things. I just don't know. I will let you guys know though if MrBeast and the crew respond, but you guys can let me know how you feel about the situation in the comments below. Anyway, that's all I have for this episode of LayItOmni. You've just been laid. Moral of the story? No new friends. That's I think I've used that moral of the story, right? You know, when you start a project, I like to believe that Jimmy and all these people weren't like bad people, you know, kind of just something like eventually started doing bad things, right? But when you start growing and you have a bunch of friends and you turn those friends into businesses and groups, yo, listen, whoever you bring into your, you got to be selective. You got to be like Luffy, okay? Like Luffy probably could have had like 100 pirates on his squad in One Piece, right? But nah, he chose everyone carefully. You know, he did the background checks. Got Nami, got Zoro, got Chopper, got Usopp, got Sanji. You know, he got the squad and everyone was legit. And if you're going to bring people into something that might grow into something big, bro, either A, make sure that they are good people, do your best to kind of do the background checks, and B, when you find out some heinous stuff about them, man, you got to figure out how to cut them freaking loose, bro. It could be a situation where, like, you know, maybe Jimmy got cocky, maybe he got too rich, maybe he got too successful, right? And he started treating people in a way where, like, because he had such a huge, large amount of power, that he was kind of like pressing and leaning onto people a little bit too much. And I think maybe he got lost in the sauce of potential success, and also was just kind of swimming in the waters with sharks smaller than him, but a lot of blood in the water. But yeah, guys, I'll keep you guys posted. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll catch you guys later. Psych! You thought it was over? It's not over. We just got breaking news, okay? And the breaking news here has everything to do with what was probably my biggest doubt in this entire situation with MrBeast, and has everything to do with the guy Delaware. Here is Jake Franklin, another ex-MrBeast person. Starting to see a trend here. Yes, Jake Franklin was a guy that was pretty vocal when it came to the whole Chris Tyson situation in the past, was basically saying that Jimmy New seems to be the type of person who has insider information, but comes to find out that Jake Franklin is the brother-in-law of Delaware? What? This whole thing we've been learning about this guy that potentially had a bad case is related to this guy? Like, what? How is this all happening, bro? This has got to be a simulation, because there's no way that all of these things are intertwined. Anyway, this is just breaking, so the reason why you're seeing this at the end of the video is because I basically have to let you guys know what happened, because otherwise I feel like this would be information that if you didn't have would make things look worse, okay? So Jake had said, here is the truth. Yes, Delaware is my brother-in-law. Yes, he is a RSO, registered sex offender. When he was 21, a 16-year-old girl accused him and others of SA when she was 11. Delaware took a plea deal. That's why there was no jail time, but he still had to register. So he took a plea deal that he was involved with a 11-year-old. Okay, those are the facts so far. His nickname isn't Delaware because he can't go back to Delaware. He's from Delaware. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He's been back several times. He was hired before I was, and was actually the reason I got hired at MrBeast. Okay, so we already learned that Delaware was essentially a manager, so it makes sense that the manager probably hired his brother-in-law to be a part of the company as well. Before being hired, Delaware sat down with Jimmy and Sue, Jimmy's mom, and explained to them everything. So yes, Jimmy knew, but again, this incident happened in 2010. Delaware was hired in 2017, 2018. Delaware was also let go from the company before I was. All right, so a registered sex offender sat down with both Jimmy and his mom and said, hey, just want to let you know that I'm an RSO, and then he got hired anyway? Is that what I'm trying to is that what I'm learning? Delaware was supposed to be a behind the scenes manager, but in a couple of videos he was asked to partake because we needed people. He was reluctant, especially in the straitjacket video, because of his charges, and that's why he wore the mask. Delaware's charges are set to be dropped this fall. Delaware has been nothing but a good person, an amazing husband to my sister, and the best father to my 2 nieces that I could ever ask for. So the charges are getting dropped. Does this have anything to do with the fact that they were saying that they're trying to get the records expunged, or is this something completely different? They want no part in this and want to just live their lives away from the limelight. I understand why anyone would be upset and frustrated over these allegations, and I do not blame them. Hurting kids in any way is completely unacceptable, but in this case, I firmly believe he did nothing wrong and look forward to the day that these charges are dropped. Thank you. Oh my God, bro. This is a lot. This is a lot to wrap in, right? You have this guy was one of the biggest people who was pointing fingers at Avery Chris Tyson and their involvement when it comes to kids. And then his brother-in-law is literally a registered sex offender, and he took a plea deal because an involvement with an 11-year-old. You can't make this shit up. What the hell, bro? I have a lot of conflicting feelings when it comes to this statement, right? Like, whether he took a plea deal or not, something happened, right? If you're taking a plea deal, probably something happened. And we're talking about something happening with an 11-year-old when this person was 16, okay? So already murky waters. I don't understand why someone would like try to figure out how to bring them as a part of the company, whether you believe them or not. Man, something about this still doesn't add up, right? Like if I'm Jimmy, if I'm MrBeast, and someone comes up to me and says, hey, by the way, I want to be your manager, but I just want to let you know that I'm a registered sex offender, right? Like I will just run. Me and my mom. There'd be no conversation to be had, right? There'd be no sitting down to, we just like, well, damn. Well, sorry, that's not something that we can have involved in the company, right? There's something here that's still not connecting the dots between this conversation piece here. In no world does it make sense to me that someone tells me that they are that, and then I proceed to hire them. Unless I'm missing something in grave detail, which I feel like we might be. But it does answer the question that MrBeast did know who he was, that he was an RSO. He was aware of it. The nickname Delaware not being the fact that the crime took place in Delaware, but that he is from Delaware is where they're saying the nickname came from. So it wasn't some weird, sick, twisted joke about him, you know, potentially touching a kid. Thank God. That actually makes more sense than what was initially being claimed. There's also this part of the tweet, guys, that's a little bit alarming here, where he was supposed to be behind the scenes manner, but a couple of videos he asked to partake because we needed people, right? So now you have somebody who is a registered sex offender who is now participating in videos that are supposed to be created for kids, whether you think this person did it or not, right? Just because you are low staff does not mean suddenly that you might think it's a good idea to bring the guy that took a plea deal for talking or touching inappropriately 11-year-old child and then put them in a video and then put a mask on their, who? I'm getting speechless. Who's making these decisions? And please just don't tell me it was just all Jimmy, because this feels like a clusterfuck of terrible decisions over and over and over and over again. And the last couple lines are saying, like, yeah, I don't think my brother did it. Like, he took the plea deal because he was scared to go to jail, but I don't think he did what the victim was claiming. So the charges are going to get dropped. And we know that there are a lot of circumstances where these things could be fabricated. There are lies. We've seen plenty of times where people get put behind bars, behind jails because somebody lied about a situation like this. So I can't say for 1000% certain that it happened. All I know is that there was a claim. And it involves an 11-year-old with a 16-year-old, right? Like, I feel like just because we already in that realm makes this a little bit fishy. You know, you guys hear what I'm saying? Like, are we speaking without me speaking? I just want to make sure we're kind of clear on that. Something about this doesn't make sense. I feel like it gives less clarification. It only gives me more questions, essentially. It's really weird. But all right, guys, this is the added addendum, okay? The text that you guys needed to know about Delaware. Also, let me know how you feel about that. Now, I'm going to get out of your hair, okay? There better not be any updates, all right? I need to go to New York. I need to head out, okay? But if there are, I'll let you guys know. All right, guys, peace.